Hello all, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm here again with another interesting case. But before I get started with that case, a small request for you all. If you have not hit the subscribe button, please do. Because recently I was looking at my channel analytics and I found that 95% of the content viewers are not subscribed. So it's a small step for you to do so that it tells me that you guys are watching my content and it motivates me to create much better content. But okay, let's get started with the case. So this case is related to labor law. Okay, labor law is something which actually really is, especially it pains my heart when I read these labor law cases. Why? Because there's a staggering difference between economic status of both the parties. One side we have laborers, one side we have employers. Okay. One way, if you think about it, there are many other cases. I'm not saying that all laborers are good and all employers are bad. That's not the right way of looking at things. But many times it so happens that laborers, especially even if those people who are coming to the court, it takes a lot of courage and a lot of, they are like more focus and more anger, and they have all those things which are built in because of which they are coming to the court, because court is like a last step for them. Okay, no laborer wants to approach court. I'll tell you one thing. Nobody wants to get into the legal hassles. Nobody does. But if the laborer is coming to the court, that means that he is very determined. He or she is very determined that they want to get the justice. And here on the other side we have employers who have good economic status and they can hire better lawyers. They can hire, they can get things away from any kind of situation. They can get out of it, and even if they have to lose something, it's not of if you think about the total revenue what they get, it's a marginal amount. But whereas for laborers it's like staggering economic difference. They are completely they have fear, they have no money, they're dependent on their daily wages, and they also have fear of approaching the court because they are not only going to lose the money which in the form of legal fees and other stuff, but also they may get like the bad name, as in they're the bad employees or something like that. So that stigma is attached to it, and many people fear if they get any job again in the future. What if I'm flagged? What if I'm flagged as like a bad employee or something like that? So all those things are like emotional upheaval which a laborer goes through before approaching the court. But if you are someone like that, what I would like to say is, before I get onto the case, is like one advice what I want to give you is, you have to be very clear when you have come out of a legal case. You have to be very clear about it for your next interview. Okay, so that many times also happens that they have background checks, right? So if you are not telling them exactly what the previous employer has done to you and why did you approach the court and other things, if you don't clear that in your future interviews, when the company does background check, they will verify your they will get kind of like a character certificate from the previous employer. And when you get that, then they will not have good things to say about you. So you have to be very clear about that. Or another thing what you have to do is, which is not the right way actually, is to not mention that you had worked in that company at all. It's not the right way to do. I would not advise it. But if you are in a situation where you have to do it, then you take a call based on what you decide. But hiding crucial information like this is not legal. If they find out something like this in the future, the future company may reprimand you for that, for hiding the information. Okay, so you have to be clear about the ongoing or completed legal case or legal battle which you have with the previous employer. So all right, let's begin with the case. What is this case about? So basically there's a employee who is employed in a pharmaceutical company. Okay, and he is posted in Shimoga. He's working there. Subsequently, the company transfers him to Udupi, and then after that they will transfer him to Bengaluru. Then after that they will transfer to Chennai, and after that they will say that he declines for all those things, and then they'll say, okay fine, you are transferred to New Delhi, go and report there. And this employee, he doesn't want to go to New Delhi, and because he was feeling like he's just being transferred here and there, here and there, here and there. So what he does is he goes and approaches the court in Mangaluru, saying that he doesn't want to get transferred, and please look into it. And here the employer, they say that he's transferred to New Delhi. So whatever case has to be filed, it has to be filed in New Delhi. Okay, the jurisdiction is not coming to Mangaluru. So we are not going to come and fight case with him in Mangaluru because there is no jurisdiction. That's what the employer says. So then what happens, that because they challenge that, Mangaluru court will agree with that, and they will say that okay, there's no jurisdiction. But then the same order is being challenged. This laborer looks like he's a daredevil laborer. Not many laborers do this. So he challenges that again with the High Court. Okay, so when in the High Court he goes, and High Court of Karnataka, and he says that, see, I was employed in Shimoga. My last working place was in Shimoga. So the proper jurisdiction for that is Mangaluru only. Why will I go to New Delhi and fight the case just because they have transferred? But here here the company argues that to the court, that saying that no, he can't file a case in Mangaluru at all because it's already transferred to New Delhi. No, we have already given the order. So that he has to go and fight case in New Delhi. Why is he fighting case here in Mangalore? No, we are not going to come and argue for that. So we are not, this is not, like, jurisdiction is like that. Whatever jurisdiction we have, it's not even applicable to this case at all. So that's what they say. So then thankfully the High Court gives an order saying that, I'll read out to it for a better dramatic thing. So they say that, see, if employer's argument is accepted, it can spark chaos. Okay, an employer can, at his whim or fancy, transfer the worker to any place in the country and contend that it is at that place of transfer that a legal dispute has to be raised. This is not correct, no? You can't just, this is like the company is dictating the terms, basically, where you can file the case, where you can go and fight against me and all those things. So, okay, thankfully it is within India. What if in the future they transfer him to some other country? And they say, hey, then there is no jurisdiction only, no? They'll say that, no, you're transferred to Dubai, go fight in Dubai. It doesn't happen that way. So that's what they said, that the termination of the service had occurred in the Shimoga, right? Because when he did not land up in New Delhi, they terminated him. But that's the reason why there's a case. The termination of the service had occurred in Shimoga since notice of termination issued in New Delhi, even though it might be issued in New Delhi. It should have been complete when they received, no? Where did he receive? He received in Shimoga, right? He did not go to New Delhi and accept his termination order. They gave the termination order in New Delhi, but this guy was in Shimoga only, no? So he would have got that notice in Shimoga only. So then the jurisdiction is like correct, no? The jurisdiction has to be in Mangaluru. That's the proper jurisdiction to hear the case. So there's no grounds like that. So that is the case which came across, and I felt very happy looking at it. First things first, I was very happy that there is one daredevil laborer who went all the way to High Court. He challenged even the court's order, and he went to High Court, and he tried to get victory. So that is something which I felt very happy. And second is that also a lesson, right? Also a lesson that we can't do anything we want to do. It has to be done. It has to be done in a certain way. I mean, this is one of the cases. Many times we see many cases where the laborer can, try to bend the will of the employer, and we feel that employer is very, is in a very bad, state. So all that things are there. So here we can't really say based on sides that which one is, better or which one is worst. Both sides have merits and demerits, and we really should look case by case to give the judgment or give our opinion on it, and should not be really taken as a blanket term, like saying that all laborers are good or all employees are bad. That's really not a waste. There are so many cases in which I have come across where the employer is at actually a fault, where they are not able to get the work done, and they're simply paying money in various things, stuck in the legal hassles and stuff happens. It is not always that one side of the party. We can't see that in the with a biased view. We can't do that. But in this case, at least I felt that yes, the employer was at fault, but the laborer was at correct stance. And also he had that courage and will, and he had a way in which he could go further and fight it across, even approaching High Court and getting this order. And with this order, what has happened is now that there is a law which is set, right, which can be applied to the lower courts also. So that way it's like a precedent. So setting a precedent is a important thing, and looks like this laborer has done that. And I think you enjoyed this case. I hope you learned something new. And if you're still not subscribed, I'll not force you, but if you do, thank you so much. And I appreciate that you're sticking with me. We'll learn together. We'll spread awareness over the legal issues together. And hopefully we'll make a better nation in the future, where all learned people will come together and they know their rules and they know how to play the game. That's when the real fun begins, right? When everybody knows the rules, then it's fun to play the game, right? So thank you for joining with me in that awareness or legal awareness drive, what I'm having with this channel. And I will see you again in the next video. Until then, bye.